Before we begin, let's step into a world where truth is fragile, and reality can be rewritten with a single command. Imagine waking up in a world where even your thoughts feel like they belong to someone else, where history bends like soft metal, reshaped again and again by the hands of the powerful, where truth is not discovered, but manufactured. This is the haunting reality of George Orwell's 1984, a world where fear becomes law and silence becomes survival. In this story, we step into that world, exploring its characters, its ideas, and the chilling warning it still whispers to us today. The novel takes place in Oceania, a massive superstate locked in endless war. But the real battlefield isn't the land outside. It's the human mind inside. Oceania is ruled by the party, led by the mysterious figure known only as Big Brother. His gaze appears on posters everywhere. Big Brother is watching you. People live under constant surveillance through telescreens, devices that don't just watch, they judge. Privacy is a myth. Individuality is dangerous. Even thinking freely becomes a crime, thought crime. Life here feels like walking through fog shaped by someone else, a fog you can't escape. At the center of this fog stands Winston Smith, a weary man in his late 30s. He works at the Ministry of Truth, a place where truth goes to die. Winston's job is to rewrite the past, turning lies into facts and facts into forgetfulness. If the party says they've always been at war with Eurasia, Winston erases every trace that suggests otherwise. Erased people become unpersons. Erased moments become silence. Winston performs his duties with cold precision, but inside a quiet rebellion grows. He feels like a man trapped underwater, breathing but not living. To confront this suffocating reality, he begins writing in a diary, an act punishable by death. Oceania's society rests on three rigid castes: the inner party, the powerful rulers; the outer party, monitored workers like Winston; and the proles, the ignored masses. The party maintains power through three dark tools. Newspeak strips language down like a knife carving away thought. When a word disappears, the idea behind it fades too. History is rewritten endlessly. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. And then there is doublethink, the ability to hold two opposite truths at once. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Doublethink turns the mind into clay, soft, shapeless, and obedient. Winston believes he is alone, until a young woman named Julia secretly slips him a note that reads, "I love you." Julia appears fiercely loyal to the party, but beneath the mask is a rebel with fire in her eyes. Their romance begins in quiet whispers, stolen glances, and hidden corners, moments of warmth in a world gone cold. With Julia, Winston feels alive again. She becomes a spark in his darkness, a reminder that the human heart can still beat freely. Together, they dream of escape, a life without Big Brother. But in Oceania, hope is a fragile flame, and fragile flames are easily extinguished. Winston becomes convinced that O'Brien, a powerful inner party member, is secretly part of the resistance, the Brotherhood. O'Brien invites them to his luxurious apartment, a place untouched by telescreens. He speaks of revolution. He hands Winston a forbidden book explaining the mechanics of oppression. For the first time, Winston feels certain the party can be defeated. But this certainty is the beginning of his fall. One night, in their secret rented room above a shop, a hidden telescreen crackles to life. "You are the dead." The thought police break in. Julia is torn away. Winston is dragged to the Ministry of Love, a place where even the walls feel cruel. O'Brien appears, but not as a friend. He was never a rebel. He was never an ally. He was the hunter, and Winston was the prey. Winston is tortured with relentless precision, beaten, starved, shocked, stripped of sleep. But O'Brien explains the truth. The party does not punish to destroy the body. It punishes to claim the soul. Obedience isn't enough. Citizens must love Big Brother. Every prisoner has a place where their deepest terror waits. For Winston, that place is room 101. Inside sits his worst nightmare, rats. When confronted with this horror, Winston breaks like shattered glass. In panic, he screams the words that seal his fate. Do it to her, not me. His final act is betrayal. His final loss is himself. After the torture, Winston is released back into society, but he walks like a ghost wearing his own face. He spends his days drinking bitter gin, sitting alone, frozen in the shadow of what he once was. And then, in the novel's haunting final line, Winston finally feels what the party demands. He loved Big Brother. Orwell leaves us with a warning. When truth is erased, when language is twisted, when fear becomes loyalty, freedom quietly dies. But as long as we question, as long as we think, as long as we refuse to surrender our minds, there is hope. Which idea from 1984 feels most real in today's world? I'd love to hear your perspective.